Tiffany here with another student success story, and I'm excited for Kendall here to share her experiences and her journey as she's been building her bookkeeping business. So, Kendall, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us like where you're from, a little bit about your family, and kind of what drew you to this opportunity.
I'm originally from Ohio, but I went to high school and college in North Carolina. And then I studied psychology in college at North Carolina State with the intention of becoming a dolphin trainer. And
Oh, how cool.
yeah,
That is super cool.
it was a lot of fun. I wiggled my way into the field, and I um, trained dolphins and sea lions for about 10 years. I lived in Florida and then Northern California and San Diego. Um, and
Nice.
then I was briefly in Colorado and then back to Florida. And then I met my husband and got married and had a baby, and babies ruin everything. So I don't really mean that, but they certainly change everything.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I I I stopped working and stayed home, and then we moved back here to Charlotte in North Carolina to be near my family. And I tried to do what I knew. When my son was little, I started a dog training business, and that was fun, but it wasn't as profitable. I'm not a great marketer, so it's like one client and done mostly, and then people would cancel their appointments all the time, and they mostly wanted help on the weekends and in the evenings when I needed to be home with my family. So it just wasn't conducive to where I am in my life. So
Mm-hmm.
and then I had our second child, and I was trying to figure out like what I was going to do, because my dolphin training just doesn't lend itself to a lot of stuff. And I found a very well-placed Facebook ad in the right moment, and that led me to your book. And it roughly a year ago, I think I bought the course in September last year, and then I sat on it for a little bit because I was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a big family road trip. We did 2 weeks around, like all around the state of Florida, in the last week of September and the
Fun.
first week of October. And it's funny because I remember telling my old friends that we were visiting, hey, so I'm thinking about turning a new leaf and starting this bookkeeping business. And I got a lot of faces like this. Like, like they knew me well enough to know that like, this is a big left turn. Are you sure this is not in your wheelhouse?
Oh,
So, I mean, and looking back, I mean, it's definitely, I have no accounting, no anything. I mean, organization is definitely not my strong suit. So, um, but your course was full of all of the hand holding that I needed. So in terms of like starting the back office, once we got home from the trip, I got the course done. I did the ProAdvisor training. So I think that I launched, I guess, maybe early to mid-November.
okay.
And I know that by Thanksgiving, I had my first client.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it was my warm audience and my like Facebook group, or my Facebook friends. And she's turned into one of my recurring clients. So
Fantastic.
yeah, it's I'm not like at the the level of some of the other student stories, because these rock stars are really crushing it out there, but it's inspiring. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely successful because I mean, I didn't totally believe that I was going to make this work. It was just the investment was it was small enough of a financial investment that if it tanked, then I could not feel terrible about it. So
Right. Well, I'm even more impressed by your progress hearing your history and your education. I never knew that stuff about you, but you have really caught on great. I mean, I remember all the Zooms that you've been on and all the questions you've asked, and you've caught on amazingly. I'm super impressed.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
So,
it's a tribute to I have to say the support group, and again all of the hand holding. Sometimes I can read something two or three times, hear it a third or fourth, and then I need to hear it like a fifth time to really let it sink in. So I think the support group, that I think that was the ultimate sell, was the fact that there would be ongoing support throughout.
mhm.
And I've definitely leaned really hard on it. So
Yeah, but it is you need to really sometimes see it all put together. Maybe, more so than hearing it several times, you actually have to go through it.
hmm
And really that's what it takes sometimes, which is why we created the support group and wanted people to be in there, because sometimes until you go through the whole process yourself, it doesn't really click. And so, yeah, I'm glad you were able to be in there and experience it and learn it that way, hands on. So,
hmm yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about the types of clients that you have right now, and what that's been like working with them.
So I've had 8 total clients. 3 of them were back work. Um, Landscaping, like a performing arts school, and hairdresser. And then my ongoing clients, I have 2 yoga instructors, um, because those are my people. And
Awesome.
then I have a consignment boutique and a construction company, and then I just onboarded an immigration law office in Portland, Oregon. So,
Interesting.
hmm
Very
yeah,
cool. Very cool spread of clients.
yeah, definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
learning a little bit about all of the different businesses.
Yeah, awesome. So how has this business helped your family financially, like just in normal times, but also maybe COVID times as well?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's certainly a big difference. My husband is a physical therapist, so we're really blessed that we have, he has job security there. He works for the VA,
Okay,
um,
awesome.
he has security, which is wonderful. And I've been able to stay home with my kids, but I mean, like everybody else, it's tight,
Right.
and um, I feel like I've always been a worker. My days as a dolphin trainer, I was always poor. Dolphin trainers don't make any money. Um, it looks glamorous, but you're dirty and poor all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, so I always worked 2 jobs, and so that's just kind of been my normal. And I got into this thinking that maybe I can save a little bit of money. Maybe we can travel a little bit more without feeling bad about it. Um, but yeah, so I mean, right now I have 1,050 a month recurring.
Awesome.
Um, and the law office that I brought on, I did like the 299 for the first 3 months, and then we'll reevaluate. And I'm gonna tack on a little bit more, so it'll be 1,200 um,
Fantastic.
recurring. And then I have uh, a discovery call this afternoon with another construction company. So um,
Awesome.
that it can't, maybe that's the one that'll push me over the edge. But
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. That's so exciting. So tell me a little bit about what your plans are with the business, because we talk a lot too about, you don't have to have a huge business or a million clients. Some people just want to have a little bit for a vacation fund or
yeah.
something to just pay off some loans. So for you guys, what does that look like? What are your future goals with it?
Well, definitely, like going into this, I didn't have high aspirations because I didn't totally believe that I could do it. So it was like, if I can get a few $100 a month, like that's awesome. I can save. Um, I could buy myself something pretty. Um, but now that I see, like, I mean, in terms of how much, once I get the client on, I mean, it's so little work um, to provide them really good service. I feel like I definitely want to grow. I'm a little apprehensive right now because of school starting and the um, kind of ominous feeling about becoming a homeschool teacher for a kindergartner. But you know, fortunately, I have the flexibility. So, I mean, if I can get one more client on board before school starts, then maybe I'll coast for a little bit. Um, and if things end up being really easy, or hopefully we get back to school one day, um, then I have the confidence now, especially with your support group, um, that I can continue to grow it. And I mean, in my next 12-month goal, I want to get into that mastermind program. I want to hire people and work less and make more money. So,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
hmm
Yep. Yeah, it's so nice to even just think about breaking into that next level where you really can build something that doesn't take your time even and still be building wealth. So, yeah,
yeah,
super
yeah.
exciting.
Like I said, I mean, I've definitely, the program that you gave me has surpassed my expectations, like blown by them.
Awesome.
So I feel like if I can do it with just the kind of like difficulties I have learning new things, and the lack of experience, and anybody can do this for sure, as long as you hustle, I mean, you have to put the time into it, but it's definitely, there's no limit for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, you do have to put the effort in. It does take time in the beginning to get
hmm
everything set up and to, reach out and connect with people and have those calls. But man, it's super worth it.
hmm
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
even
And
for the slow people like me. Well, I'll get there. It might take a little longer.
well, I think you're being a little hard on yourself because I feel like you've grasped it very well.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. That's good to
Yeah.
hear.
Absolutely. And also don't be hard on yourself about homeschooling either. I've got the kindergartner that's we're homeschooling this year too. So if it makes you feel any better, the average time to homeschool is like 2 hours a day.
Oh,
So
I've
it's
heard.
not like a 8 hour long commitment. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
breaking it up into chunks. I mean, my 5-year-old, she doesn't sit still for more than like 15 minutes at a time. So
Right.
do a little worksheet here, we do some reading there, just kind of break it up in between client work and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm sure, obviously people do it. So,
Mhm.
um, it's kind of a looming cloud, but I mean, we'll
Mhm.
roll with it. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this business, is that, I mean, if it is an all consuming all day issue, I can still do the work that I have at night, or I
Mhm.
can do it when my mom comes over to be with the kids. So um, there are pockets in the day to get it done for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do love the flexibility that you can do work whatever hour of the day you choose. And if you can't get to something that day, I mean, you have to put it off a day or two. It's not detrimental to anything. So,
Mhm.
yep, it's pretty
I know
nice.
that was something that I used to like repeat to myself right at the beginning, when I was panicking over not knowing so many answers, um, that there are no accounting emergencies. I heard you say that a couple of times, and it was like a mantra that I would have to like slow myself down
Yes.
and to turn the panic off.
Yeah, because our clients have a question and then we immediately feel like, oh, I got to
Mm,
just spit the answer out right
Right.
away, but you don't have to. And
Yeah.
they're usually not looking for an immediate response. They just want to know at some point.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, and having fielded some of those questions, it's definitely not nearly as daunting.
yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Hmm.
So, I think we got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. I didn't mean to mute myself. Melody asked, what course did you purchase? So, Kendall enrolled in the full course, the full bookkeeping course, and then also in the support group. And Laura asked, how long did the course take to complete, and how much time did you devote to working on the coursework? Do you remember?
Um, so I think the course itself, so like I listened to all of the lessons. That probably took me I don't know, like a week. And then I went back and did all of the stuff. And I would say within, I mean, probably 2 weeks to get through the course content. And then the ProAdvisor training was a lot tougher than I was expecting. I think, I feel like when I took it, they were kind of
In the middle
upfront.
of redoing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was
Hmm.
really glitchy, and hopefully that's not an experience that other people have to have now.
Yeah.
But I really struggled. It took me 2 times to pass it. But
Yeah.
once I got beyond that, the next struggle was coming up with the advertising, because that's definitely like, that's a whole different skill set. And fortunately, there's a lot of resources in the program and the support group for that.
Hmm.
Um, and
It does put you out
really
of your
getting a person,
comfort zone a little bit. So,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I would say like from start to finish with like the course content and ProAdvisor, it was probably 6 weeks total.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. And the ProAdvisor, you can be a bookkeeper without having passed that. It is a tricky test, and I'd say a good chunk of that stuff on the test you don't even use on a regular basis. It's
Yeah.
very similar to like getting your accounting degree or taking the CPA test. The ProAdvisor test you on all sorts of things on the program. It's basically, how to use QuickBooks Online and all the different features, but we use a very limited amount of those features. So even if you don't pass it or you decide to launch your business and then do that later, that's perfectly okay.
Yeah, I think that the little mini course that you put together was far more valuable in terms of like grounding me in what I was actually going to be doing,
Hmm.
um, than the ProAdvisor training.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
awesome. Yep. So definitely don't be discouraged if you are someone out there attempting the ProAdvisor training and it's harder than you expect. That does not have any effect on how successful you will or will not be with the bookkeeping business. So, yep. Okay, let's see what else. Angela says, I have a kindergartner, homeschool a kindergartner, so let me know if you want to brainstorm. So you got that.
Definitely. Yay.
And Casey's homeschooling her first grader this year as well. And let's see, Angela said, I'm slow for sure. I'm scared that I will totally mess up something or I don't respond, that they will be upset. So yeah, so the support group is just really great for that, to be able to ask questions and get confirmation on what
Yes.
you're doing. It really relieves that feeling of overwhelm or that feeling of anxiety for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there have been a lot of times where I think I figured out the answer, again, especially in the beginning, and to just post like, "Hey, is this what you guys would do?" and to get like the resounding yes.
Hmm.
It's definitely, it's really valuable. So
Yeah.
it quells those fears for sure.
Yep. Yep. Awesome. Let's see. Tanya says, yeah, she feels that way too, but we would definitely help you out in the support group, Tanya. So don't worry, have no fear. So, so if you had to give everyone watching a bit of information or advice that maybe some of these people are on the fence about joining, or they're brand new or considering doing this, what would you say?
I mean, you just dive in and do it. I mean, if I can do it, and anybody can do it, because I just I had nothing to go on. It was just something that I prayed about, and I feel like it was divine intervention that I saw that Facebook ad in that moment that I was feeling open to it, um, because it was so far out in left field for my life up to that point, and the fact that that you consider me a success story,
Absolutely.
is, I mean, it's testament to the fact that it's definitely accessible to everybody. You can absolutely do this.